Jordan came on that subway car. The first thing he asked for was food, and he was killed. And the person who killed him was not held responsible. We cannot allow this to keep happening.
Breaking news. The jury has reached a unanimous verdict in the case of Daniel Penny. He's been found not guilty on the charge of criminally negligent homicide. Now, remember what was at stake here. The jury could not agree on manslaughter. They failed to agree twice. The judge gave them another bite at the apple on this lesser charge, negligent. They now say not guilty.
Yo, what's goody? Wavy. It seems like if we're getting to the end of a scene out of the movie Idiocracy, where there was no common sense, where up was down and left was right, a woman could be a man could get pregnant, and I'm glad to just see that we're waking up from all of that. Like, it was 4 years where I didn't know what direction we were going. It seems like slowly but surely the ship is righting itself. And it brings me to this story today. In case you don't know, I'll just give a quick recap. Jordan Neely was a homeless man, also a street performer, performing a lot of times as Michael Jackson. He would be on the New York City trains and would get donations from people that, appreciated his shows or whatnot. Daniel Penny is a former Marine that was attending school and was on his way home on the subway when the whole thing took place. I guess that Jordan Neely had a little monologue where he pretty much said, somebody is gonna leave the planet today, and was threatening to other passengers on the train.
The guy with the brown jacket took him to the ground.
Yeah, he took him to the ground and gave him a chokehold. Not a hard chokehold, just enough to secure him, and the guy fought. And he kept holding him, all right? And then that's when everybody totally realized what was going on. And I think this guy's on drugs, because when he came in, he was unbelievably off the charts. He scared the living daylights out of everyone.
At some point, Daniel Penny put him into a chokehold, and he ended up succumbing to those injuries. It's a little funny that day, passengers were thanking Daniel Penny for what he did. But given how it looks on optics, you have a white man deleting a black man the way that he did. That as soon as you put a white person put a black person in a chokehold, Floyd's spirit resonates and all that. So I think that's why this even went to trial. And I have an example that I'll bring up after where similar situations have gone on where you just switch up the races and nobody has a problem. But because it was a white man who subdued the black man, everyone has an issue, including his father. Before I get to the clip, I want to say rest in peace to Jordan Neely. Condolences for his family because they're the ones that, have to pick up the pieces. I also want to say, the pop's coming out and giving this statement is cool and all, but where was he during his son's life? His son was on the streets, homeless, had mental health issues because I saw that he was schizophrenic as well, but now because, he's killed by a white man, is getting all of this attention, maybe could even get a payout from the city. Now all of a sudden he's vocal. If he was this vocal in his son's life throughout his hardships, maybe he'd still be here.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged.
Now, I feel for the man. All right, I really do. No parent should have to bury their child. All right, but you can't say that the system is rigged when there were many witnesses that day that said his son was acting like an idiot. His son was threatening other passengers on the train, and somebody happened to step up. And if that man had been black, I don't think we hear any of this on the mainstream media, but because race is such a big thing in this country, that's why it's getting all the eyes that it is.
We can't show up with peace. We can't show up with facts. We can't show up with evidence and witness after witness. You give us nothing. and then you ask us to love this country. America hates black people.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
In the light of Daniel Penny being ruled not guilty, I wanted to touch on this other story that never even went to court. The grand jury dismissed it before it even went to court. And it was a similar situation. All right, a man is on the subway with his girlfriend. Another man comes up, attacks the girlfriend. Actually, it gets even worse because this man pulls out a knife. Okay, our good guy pulls out a knife and does what he needs to do on the bad guy, who ends up succumbing to his injuries. And this man was never even tried. Let's check it out. I wonder why. Let's check it out.
Sources tell Fox 5 a Brooklyn grand jury has voted to dismiss all counts against Jordan Williams. 20-year-old Williams was charged with manslaughter for fatally stabbing a 36-year-old man who witnesses say was harassing people on the J train in Brooklyn, including Williams' girlfriend. The grand jury says Williams acted in self-defense. Those charges will be formally dropped in court in a day or two. Again, this just in, a grand jury has voted to drop all charges against 20-year-old Jordan Williams.
You see, similar situation, but because the good guy is black and the bad guy was black, nobody cares. There's no outrage from BLM, no outrage from the community, nobody outside the courthouse rioting and, threatening to delete him for having to defend himself against the other guy. There's none of that. Because one, black lives aren't valued and not worth a shit unless you're killed by somebody who isn't black. If you're killed by a white man, that's like the jackpot, the holy grail. But to other black people, it ain't worth nothing. Now let's shoot it to Jordan Neely and Daniel Penny. Okay, let's pretend our good guy was black and our bad guy was white. There would be no outrage. We would never have even heard about this story at all because the mainstream media and all of the the court of public opinion doesn't care when it's a black man killing a white man or a black man killing a black man, but they only care. Black Lives Matter only comes out from their deep, dark abyss of the dark sea, the deep sea, only whenever it's a white man that does something to a black man. They went this hard for Derek Chauvin. They've gone this hard only whenever it's white officers involved with black people. That's why I'm happy that Daniel Penny will be a free man, not guilty, get to spend the holidays at home with his family, because this whole thing didn't make sense. It shouldn't have been in court. I appreciate you sticking around this long in the video. And what do you think about this whole thing? Do you think Jordan Neely deserves to be alive with his family? Yes, he had some mental health issues, but he didn't deserve to die. All right, he went on there just trying to perform for people. He was trying to panhandle a little bit. And here comes this white supremacist jumping on his neck, trying to make him George Floyd 2.0, which he did because he eventually ended up passing away. And he needs some sort of justice because he was a well-loved person in the community. Everyone that hopped on the train said that he was a beacon of light and a positive way for them to begin their day. Or do you think it's a great thing Daniel Penny is able to go home and be with his family for the holidays after going through all of this, which I think was only politicized because of the races of these two men? Okay, if you change them up anyway, or anything that's not black and white, nobody really cares. But because he was a white guy and he was in the military, and a white guy being in the military brings about a whole other level of scrutiny. He's a white nationalist, he's a Nazi, he's this and that. But he did what he had to do. All right, he protected the other passengers on board that by all accounts were threatened by what Neely said, including that somebody was going to die that day. I'm of the personal belief that you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. You F around and you find out. But I'm interested to know whatever you're thinking in the comments section. Till the next video, y'all be safe and stay wavy.
Repetition is the father of learning.